Why I was wrong about Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is coming off a 5-round decision victory over Paddy Pimblett. And although going into the fight, I thought Paddy Pimblett would eventually be able to find the submission, Gaethje kept the fight on the feet for the entirety of it and had a lot of success. But before we get the video started, my name is JuicyMMA. I make opinionated fight breakdowns. If you're ready, hit that subscribe button and let's get right into it. So this fight definitely impressed me in a lot of different ways and surprised me in a lot of different ways. For one, I did not think Paddy Pimblett was going to have nearly as much of success as he actually did. As although he was clearly a step behind, he was getting pieced up to a certain extent on the feet, he at the same time was having a decent amount of success. His uppercuts were landing cleanly, his calf kicks were landing nicely, most importantly, his jab was money throughout the majority of the fight, and honestly, he had a lot more success than I thought he would. Now, with that being said, Gaethje was definitely controlling the fight on the feet, which is exactly what I thought going into the fight. I just never thought Paddy was a great striker, and I think we saw that in this fight. But nonetheless, Paddy did make some improvements. His awkward striking style is going to give some guys issues on the feet, but overall, at the end of the day, he's still going to get knocked out or get tagged up by the majority of these, good strikers, or at least elite strikers at the weight class. But the biggest thing that really surprised me in this fight is the fact that Paddy didn't shoot at all. I believe in the 5th round, he eventually went for a shot, but that was way too late. At that point, the fight was almost over for one. For two, Paddy was a bit tired at that point, and it just didn't make much sense at all. And if you look at the fight back, yes, I do know Paddy's takedowns aren't amazing. Justin Gaethje also does a really good job at stuffing the initial takedown, but if you watch that fight back, Gaethje was overswinging pretty significantly. And if you watch back my breakdown and any of my live streams, I was talking about that a lot. I thought Paddy would have trouble with the single and double leg traditional takedowns, but I thought eventually if Gaethje overswings, falls over himself, I thought those were the opportunities where Paddy can take the back, take the fight to the ground, and eventually find that submission. And that happened like 5 or 6, 7 times in the fight where Gaethje was overswinging, falling over himself, but Paddy never took advantage of those opportunities, which is very surprising to me. And as I said, he shot one time or twice, I believe, in the entirety of the fight, and clearly that was his best path to victory. Maybe he was trying to prove a point in this fight by only striking, but clearly that was not a great strategy, to say the least. He got pieced up, he got hit quite a bit. His chin is actually insane, the fact that he was taking that much damage and continuing to push forward. And even after taking a ton of damage in round 2, he comes into round 3 and actually wins that round after he looked really tired and hurt at the end of round 2. Definitely incredible. You have to give some respect to Paddy. His chin is great, no question about that, and obviously his heart is absolutely insane, but just a bad game plan from Paddy Pimblett out there. There's no other way of really getting around that. Paddy should have shot. That was his best path to victory. He didn't do that, and that's kind of why he lost. In terms of Justin Gaethje, though, I will say this. Honestly, I may get a lot of hate for this. I thought he looked absolutely terrible in this fight. Literally awful. I know he was landing a lot of big shots against Paddy, but there's a lot of moments where Gaethje essentially allowed Paddy to get back into the fight by backing up, by not throwing as much. Every time he had Paddy alongside the cage, if he would just stay a little bit more patient, there was a lot of big shots that were lined up. Paddy, when he was alongside the cage, had his hands down, his chin completely up in the air. And yes, Gaethje did land some big shots, of course, alongside the cage, but it wasn't consistent enough. And a lot of times he was kind of ruining those opportunities by overswinging and falling over Paddy Pimblett and forcing his way essentially into the clinch. So my thoughts are, Paddy surprised me in some ways. He had more success on the feet. Gaethje, I thought, looked pretty bad in my opinion, but most importantly, Paddy's game planning going into this fight or throughout the fight was just very poor. You have to shoot takedowns. That's your path to victory. He basically didn't shoot any, and that was kind of how the fight went itself. So congrats to Justin. Obviously, he's at the tail half of his career. His next fight is going to be his retirement fight, I would assume. So good for him for getting the interim belt. Now, I will say this. In terms of his next fight against Ilia Topuria, I talk about this a lot in my live streams, but I thought either one of these guys would get, destroyed, honestly, by Ilia Topuria. But now that it is Gaethje, I honestly think Gaethje is an easier fight for Ilia compared to Paddy. I thought either guy would have lost. But Justin is just super hittable. We saw it in this fight as well against a not-so-great striker. He was getting hit. He was getting tagged up. So just imagine if some of those big shots that Paddy landed, it was, the precision and power of Ilia Topuria landing those big shots. It won't go well. So that's my thoughts on the fight itself. I do think the fight is probably going to be made for the White House card, if I had to say, but it is what it is. Those are my thoughts. I was definitely wrong about the fight, but also very odd game planning from Paddy Pimblett going into it. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you did enjoy, check one of these 2 videos popping up now. But until the next time, peace out, fellas.